So this is going to be a video of our Gazelle bikes. We have the T10 Ultimate, and I just traded in my bike for the T10 Ultimate Plus, which is the red one. So this is going to be a combination video of both bikes, how we like them, what the differences between the two models are as well. So here we go. I'm gonna start with basically the T10 Ultimate, which is the lighter colored, ivory colored one here, because most of the features are the same. So both bikes have 10 gears. They share the same derailleur. They have a 500 watt-hour battery that is built into the frame there. It comes out with the key that is built into the locking mechanism on the bike, which both bikes have a locking mechanism through the wheels. So the key locks. I can't do it with one hand, but basically once the mechanism here locks, you can pop out the key and then put it in the battery. It's really actually nice because then you can't lose the key if you just keep it in the bike. It has 4 levels of speed. They both do, or assist, I should say. Usually, when I was using the T10 Ultimate, I was on the 2nd level most of the time. Rarely needed to change it unless I wanted to go up a major hill and go real fast. With the Ultimate Plus, I'm usually on the 1st assist mode, for reasons I'll explain in just a minute. But first, I want to go over the display. The display, pretty nice, has a lot of features. Basically, your speed, range isn't an issue right now because the bike's not moving. To change, you go from Eco to Tour to Sport to Turbo. Turbo is the fastest. Obviously, with your change in assist, you lose range. So Tour is where we usually live, and this bike you get 78 miles of range with the way that we pedal typically. So 127 on Eco, but usually this bike is kept in Tour, or sometimes next level up. So if you hold the bike, the minus sign a little bit so you can get your total trip, get your total bike mileage. So you can see this bike has 203 miles on it. The T10 Ultimate Plus that's next to me has about 20 miles on it because I just got it. I just traded in my T10 Ultimate. So that's the basic features of these bikes. They all come with the same brakes, the same light. The bike overall, I loved it, but I decided, this is my wife's bike. I guess I'll back up a second too. We have the Burley trailer for our now 10-month-old. We've been using it since 6 months, which I know is not necessarily recommended. I'm going to do a separate video on this because we really do like it. So both bikes have zero problem pulling this. It doesn't even care. So now let's go for the differences. First difference is price. So the T10 Ultimate retails for about I think it's $39.99 right now, so almost $4,000, and the T10 Ultimate Plus is about $200 more expensive. So I actually got lucky when I traded mine in. The bike prices went up, and they had given me a discount initially, so I got it for pretty much a wash. So I didn't have to pay any extra at the time. The T10 Ultimate Plus, biggest difference as far as statistics go, that the Ultimate Plus is a Class 3 bike, and the Ultimate is a Class 1. You can find that information in the manual. It's also right on the back of the bikes. This is becoming increasingly important. because some places are restricting the class of bike that can be used on their trails. Now, I've never ever had a problem, never seen anyone on the bike trails that we're on that care, but I do plan on probably just putting a sticker over that class thing just so it's a non-issue for me. So the difference in classes is basically that the bike is able to do 28 miles per hour as opposed to the class 1, which is restricted to 20. Now there's aftermarket restrictions, that things that you can stop the restrictions with. You can trick the motor, stuff like that. But I decided that there were other benefits to the T10 Plus that I wanted. So one is the suspension. I didn't know how much of a difference that suspension would make, but it is a big difference. So the biggest difference is the dual shocks right there. They really help on those jarring bumps. The motor is a bigger motor in the T10 Ultimate Plus. It has 85 Newton meters of torque, whereas the Ultimate has 65. That's my dog. The other thing that is a big difference in the two is the range. So you saw the range on the last bike. Check out the range on this bike if I have it up properly. Eco. Trip. So the biggest difference is range. On Eco you get 63 to start off. Tour you get a whopping 37. Sport, which is the third fastest, 27. And Turbo, you get 22 miles. So the downside to this switch is that you're using the same battery with a bigger motor. Same battery, bigger motor equals less range. Now, there is a workaround here. They sell a supplementary battery pack that can be installed right here. So it mounts on there and you get another 500 watt hours of battery, which doubles your range. So it puts it right on par with the Ultimate, which is great, but it's $1,000. So I haven't purchased it yet. I'm probably going to. I like to have the extra range if I want it, especially as we go around the country and do various bike trails. With these bikes, I like to have the extra range. So I'm probably going to pick that up at some point. But right now, for what I've been doing, is fine. As far as the other things that we've changed, obviously we swapped out the seats. Honestly, my seat is like a $30 seat off Amazon, and it works really well. I added the bike bag. Both bikes come standard with these racks and LED lighting. The tow hitch I've added for the Burley trailer. That was an easy add. And the next biggest difference I'm going to try and capture. It's going to be hard today. When you're riding the T10 Ultimate Plus, the red one, the motor is noticeably noisier than the one on the Ultimate. The Ultimate, I can barely hear it, if at all, except maybe when I'm cranking it at high level, then I can hear it. The Ultimate Plus, you can hear it pretty well. So honestly, it didn't bother me until my wife pointed it out that it was a lot noisier. But I've seen other brands of e-bikes that have the louder motor, and no one really is bothered by it. Like I said, I'll try to get a video of it while it's in comparison, but it's kind of hard, I think, to hear on camera. So. But it's a little hum, something to take into consideration. When as the Ultimate, you hear nothing. The other thing I really don't like about these bikes is the charge port cover. It is a pain to get it to stick back in there, which you can do. and it does, but you got to fiddle around with this piece of rubber here, and it slides into that top slot, which it goes, but it takes some maneuvering, and I'm always afraid that I'm going to break it by putting it in there, one of the piece of plastic that hold on the charger. So basically that's the review. They are pedal assist, so meaning you can't just give it throttle and it goes, so it's not like a motorbike. It does require pedaling, but on the highest setting, you barely have to pedal to make these things go. They are quite expensive. They're super well built. They are very heavy at over 50 pounds each. Metal frame, so they're very heavy. So if you're planning on mounting them on the back of, say, a fifth wheel or something, which is what we're doing, you're going to want to make sure you get an e-bike rated fifth wheel rated hitch, and those can get heavy. So if we're running into the issue of we want to have a fifth wheel hitch with a kayak rack and the bikes, we're running out of available weight on the hitch because the hitch is heavy, the bikes are heavy, the kayaks are heavy, so we have a 300-pound weight limit on that hitch, and we're running into that problem right now. But that's not a big issue. I'm going to do a video on our fifth wheel at some point, but for the moment I wanted to make sure got this video done. You guys can see the comparison between these two bikes, very similar, but I don't know that everyone will like the Ultimate Plus for the decreased range and the motor hum. The suspension and the obvious speed and higher torque are the added benefits to the bike the way I have it set up. So any questions, feel free to ask, but overall I highly recommend these bikes. I have used a number of e-bikes that are different brand. We settled on Gazelle because the quality is there. The quality is just phenomenal. I mean, these bikes are very well built. So next video I'm going to do on the travel trailer with the Burley. I'll show you a shot with my son in it, and what kind of features we liked about it versus the cost, which is why I went with the Burley as opposed to the Thule one. All right, any questions, just feel free to comment. Thanks.